On that PI you got called for in the game, what was the coaching point when you guys were watching the film?
Yeah, I had after we watched the film, we realized my hands was just on his shoulder pads. If I'm going to use them, I got to put them on his the little hip of the receiver and play through that way. But definitely two handsy up at the top of shoulder pads is easy to see. So.
What are your takeaways from that game overall?
Definitely just a lot of communication and understanding what's to come pre-snap for me, and that would allow me to play faster throughout every play. And just being around the older guys, they've been helping me a lot with doing that, especially in practice today. That's one thing I focus on, just over-communicating pre-snap, and that helps with the plays as it goes along.
In the Big 12, did they let you play? I mean, did the officials kind of let the defensive backs get their hands on people and not call a lot?
No, definitely not. It's the same thing, just especially in that league, they pass a lot too, so you got to be real careful being too handsy and stuff like that.
What was it like getting that first game under your belt? I mean, I know it was preseason and everything, but, just being in an NFL stadium, playing an NFL game against,
Yeah, it was exciting. I really had fun. Definitely to get my feet wet and see how the game speed is. I definitely think it was a good starting point for me, and just to build off that throughout practices and through the next preseason games.
So what was that game speed like, even compared to practice, when you look back in your time in college?
Just compared to like college, just 10 times as faster, and the talent is obviously just way better. So it's just if you're a young-minded player like me in your first year, it just can kind of be fast at times, but definitely practicing fast like that helps it slows down a little bit. So that's what I'm focusing on this week heading into the next game.
How valuable do you think that was? I mean, because you look at the rookies last year. I mean, they didn't have preseason and everything, so they kind of went cold into the start of the season.
It's definitely valuable. It shows you where you're at. It helps you evaluate yourself and what you need to improve on before the actual season. So it's definitely valuable to have those preseason games.
Something we hear from coaches a lot for rookies is that if they do start well, there's always a period where they're going to take a step back. It happens almost there. Have you encountered that yet? And then, when do you think that may happen, or if it may happen, and how do you expect to approach it?
Yeah, I mean, that's just honestly the nature of the game. And, it's for rookies, but I feel like it's for everybody as well. You just reach that point where you got to look at yourself in the mirror and you got to keep your foot on the gas. And that's what I'm focusing on, just stacking days and being the best player I can be.
Along the same lines, I mean, this is you've admitted it's faster up here, but it hasn't looked like it's been too big for you since camp started. I mean, you seem to be out when you've been out there. You act like you belong, play like you belong.
Yeah. I mean, that's just a testament to my coaches, D. Will, DK, and JG, and the older guys in the room. They every play, even when I'm out there, I hear them talking to me from the sideline. So that give me that little comfort, that backbone from the older guys, and that just allows me to be more free and helps me to play to the level of competition. So.
How much did Darius and Steve particularly, how much do they help with sort of those little tricks of the trade? So PIs, maybe they tell you what you can get away with, what you can't?
Yeah, definitely. They help me every day. They like my big brother, so I'm always in their hip pocket. We just working on it after practice, just undercutting and playing receivers low hips and stuff like that. So we working on it every day, and they're always in my ear.
Slay didn't want to use your name. He says he calls you rookie.
Yeah, he called me Rook. Yeah.
I want to ask you about the Patriots coming in. I mean, they've been the dynasty in the NFL for years, probably while you were growing up. Did you watch them a lot? Anybody on that team that you kind of looked up to, and what are your thoughts about them coming in to town here Monday and Tuesday?
Yeah. I mean, growing up watching the Patriots, they had Brady for them years, and it just happened to be one of them teams you just grow up watching. I don't want to say I was a big fan, but I mean, just having them come in would be a good learning experience. Going against another team, more competition, so I'm definitely ready to use it to help me better myself.
Zach, a bit of an off-the-wall question. You wear 27. Did you ask for that? Was that among the numbers they presented to you? How did that work out?
Yeah, so among the numbers they presented to me, it was 10, 17, and 27. And I don't know, 10 was cool, but it's not really a defensive back number. 17 was also cool, but I felt the same way. It just wouldn't look good at corner. So I just was like, just give me 27.
Are you aware who wore that number before you?
Yeah, I'm most definitely aware. Definitely some big shoes to fill, but I'm working every day to get towards it.
Couple more? From the time training camp started until now, which area do you think you've improved the most?
I would say, which area? Probably just being around the ball more. I started off training camp, not really making any plays on the ball, but as training camp goes on, I just keep getting around the ball, and that's one thing I pride myself in. Just gotta keep, wherever the ball is at, you gotta get to it any way possible. So that's one thing I pride myself in.
Is that an emphasis, or is that like a byproduct of doing everything else well?
It's definitely, I say it's a little bit of both. You do everything, you do right, you see right, and you make plays. So, yeah.
Zach, you mentioned the communication has been really good with the coaches. What was JG's overall message to the DB specifically after the game?
One thing JG always say to us is just be you, and that kind of gives the DBs a comfort and a backbone to just go out there. You know why you're here. You have the talent to be here, and so that's what we go out, and that's what he says to us, and it allows us to just play fast and free.